Be as a spring in the desert. June 1, 2013. I am Sanat Kumara, also known affectionately as Raj. I presently serve as planetary logos, from the holy city of Shambhala, home of the Ascended Masters and connection to your sister world, the neighboring planet of Venus. Through the ages since before the great fall of man, I have played many roles and presented many faces to many cultures. Some know me as Ahura Mazda, Skanda, the warrior son of Shiva. And to some I am known as the Ancient of Days. Whatever my name, whatever face that I present to your consciousness, I am one with you within the secret sanctuary of your heart. I have come to offer my thoughts, my counsel and my encouragement, along with those of my brother, Ganesh, the great divine director. We are one in our purpose and dedication to the evolution of this planet and to its inhabitants. Long ago, I decided to commit myself to the mission of holding the light for the evolutions of Terra. Leaving my home on Venus, I came to this darkened planet, arriving in the place prepared by those who preceded me, Shambhala. Of those who read these words today, some of you were among the first to arrive with me from Venus, one of the 144,000 of high Venusian masters, committed like myself to the welfare of the inhabitants of our sister planet, Terra. We did not wish to see her destruction as happened to at least one other planet in your solar system, the planet, Maldek, that exists today as the rubble field of asteroids lying between Terra and Mars. Instead, we chose to dedicate ourselves to the mission of aiding humanity into returning to a state of self-awareness where they would be prepared to retake up the mantle and stewardship of their own planetary home. That great day now approaches. Although there is some way still to go, the moment approaches when enough self-aware beings upon this planet will be ready to assume conscious stewardship of the planet and the future of humanity. What mission have you chosen to undertake? What commitment have you made? How do you approach your daily life, with a sense of defeatism or an ever-upwelling of optimism? Perhaps you do not know what your mission is yet. Perhaps you are unwilling to look with clear seeing at that which you would deny, simply out of a sense of feeling unprepared, unconvinced that you are worthy of such an endeavor. You see what you choose to see. You feel what you choose to feel. You can change your outlook in a second, with a simple change in perspective. How do you choose to view your world? Are you one who sees the glass half empty or half full? Know that you have the power to create your own reality and how you will play in it. It is all up to you. Accept the power that dwells within you. It is real, more real than the hologram in which you played today. The power that wells up from within emanates from Source. Like a spring in the middle of a desert, it finds its way to the surface through the barrier of your denial and worms its way into your awareness. You cannot deny the power of love as you cannot deny the power of your solar body, the sun, to warm you with its rays. It simply is, as you are. You are the world. You are the creator of your world. You hand yourself lessons every day to test yourself, to see if your awareness has grown or whether you are still in denial of your beauty and power. It is up to you to decide whether or not you learn from those lessons, release all self-judgment and condemnation and move forward with resolve to come into greater awareness or to retreat into greater self-denial or darkness. Those of us who have worked so long in the fields of this world, cultivating self-awareness among its inhabitants, starting up new modes of thinking and being, we would hope that you chose to come into greater alignment with the one who is your true self, your soul. In keeping a deep-seated desire to renew your connection to your soul, you will also come into connection through the bridge of light, with your higher self. This self consists of those who you called the Ascended Masters, angelic beings, archangels and others who dwell in the realms of light. Not all chose to leave the realms of light to descend into the various worlds of this universe that had been darkened by the miscreations and misalignment of some. There were many who chose to hold the balance as their brothers and sisters and twin flames descended and then fell into the lower, heavier depths of the third dimension. They chose to remain behind so that they could take up the role of mentor, teach and guide to those struggling to see through the mists of the astral plane surrounding your world. Now understand, dear ones, Although you walk through the darkened valley of the third dimension, you need not keep clothed in the darkness of spirit that haunts those who chose to deny self, who chose self-condemnation and self-hatred. This darkness is twisted and warped and often directed outward to those appearing as other or different, whether this difference exists in lifestyle, sexual preference, religion, culture or physical appearance. You can choose, consciously, to release these self-imposed bonds and to step free, into self-acceptance, self-love and through your sincere efforts, into service to others through living your own life free of boundaries, self-imposed or imposed by forces outside of yourself. You can choose to be in this world, but not of it, not controlled by anything outside of your own consciousness, although truly you are the only one partaking of this experience. Along the way on the path of rediscovering those parts of your being which you thought lost or perhaps as never belonging to yourself, you will learn more about your world and how it works. The departing third dimension worked with rigid structures and boundaries. Expressions of never, always and must rule the daily life of the masses. You learn to follow the teachings of those outside of yourself, most often those individuals closest to you in daily life, your parents, teachers, religious leaders, and friends. You were taught to conform, to fit in, to follow the guidance of your elders and of elected officials and professionals. You were taught out of the ability to think for yourself, to feel your own feelings, to act on your own intuition. You were encouraged to fit in, to conform and to be whatever was considered normal in your culture and society. It mattered not that other people living next to you in the same city acted in a totally different manner than what you were taught was right. They were different. Therefore, they became the enemy. Your leaders and those shadowy figures who acted as your leaders' puppet masters, the Illuminati and controllers, sought to control all deviation within society, all sense of revolution, to stifle any drive towards independence. Those of you who thought or acted independently from what was considered the norm or accepted ways of being was targeted for persecution, torment and sometimes destruction and death. Beyond what you have been presented in your modern world, there existed before a world that was very, very different, but the ways of the ancestors were also covered up when they didn't fit the paradigm desired by the controllers. Ancient libraries and sacred sites were destroyed, burned, pillaged and buried in a desire to blank out the past and to destroy the roots binding the people to the earth, to the sky and waters. Still, cycles move on and now the light grows brighter on Terra, burning away the dross of the last couple of centuries of darkness and destruction. The ties with the ancient past of this world are being recreated through the avid exploration and efforts of scientists who have moved beyond the existing paradigm in their determination to understand why certain facts and discoveries do not fit what has been accepted in colleges and universities as being truth for the past century or so. The continuous cycle of violence and war that has existed for several centuries worldwide is now being revealed as being coordinated by a small group of people, interconnected by a web of secrecy, determined to keep the populations of countries and continents at war with each other so they can, as a whole, be kept under control. War and tools of war, chemical and biological warfare, have been used by the armies and corporations of the planet against their own kind, humanity, in a bid to do the will of their masters, to eliminate the surplus population so the survivors would have more. These acts of self-destruction are now in the process of being revealed, first in alternative media sources, but more and more in mass media sources. When the sleeping giant of the populace really understands the length that these plans for mass destruction and control have been in existence, it may take a while to release the anger, despair, grief and outrage that will emerge from the astral body of humanity. As the light and energy emanating from cosmic sources penetrates and breaks up the rubble of the structures of the departing third dimension, the light penetrates into the waking consciousness of the general populace, waking them from their lengthy sleep of denial. They stir restlessly, no longer able to dismiss what they can see with their own eyes, feel with their own heart, and hear with their own ears. The world is changing and with it, each person must choose their own way, by going forward or remaining stubbornly in place, willfully by denying self-consciousness, by denying their connection with their multidimensionality. Will you choose to go forward or will you choose to remain behind, striving to hide from your own light and power? The choice is yours. It has always been yours. And we will abide by your wishes for yourself. It is your responsibility to choose. Your refusal to choose is a choice to remain in the three-dimensional world or at least to attempt to cling to what is known, for the third dimension is going away. So, it is inevitable that you will, eventually, join up with your fellows, and find your own way onto the path home, back to the fifth dimension and the realms of light. How long that journey might take is up to you. This planet and the great being that ensouls her, Gaia, is committed to the path of return. The ones who volunteered to assist in her return, the light workers and wayshowers, the star seed, as they have been variously called, are also committed to the path of return. They walk the path not for the first time, but as ones who have mastered other paths and dimensions in their past or other lives, which exist simultaneously in the ever-present now. It is sometimes hard to explain these concepts in terms of human language, which is by custom and intent limited in its ability to convey spiritual realities. Spirit exists within paradox. All things exist within the one. You have believed that you are a separate being, but in truth you have never left the garden. Yet you still must release the false beliefs, allowing for the healing of your physical body and ascending slowly through the vibratory levels until you can handle the lighter frequencies of the fifth dimension. You exist in many worlds all at once. This is truth and will ever evade the ability of the rational mind or ego to understand the paradox that is presented. Just feel into the awareness of this and decide for yourself whether it is true for you today. Just because it may make you feel uncomfortable this morning, does not mean that you cannot learn to accept this truth as your own in the future present moment. You will come into self-awareness and awareness of your connection to all life in your own time and in your own way. As a spring in the desert, waters the oasis and acts as a place for all to gather to rest from their journey and to gain strength for the next step, so you, too, can act as the waters of life, giving your light and presence to all who you encounter during your daily life. How you interact with people, how you honor your inner guidance, how you work to strengthen and rebuild your inner connections to soul and to your higher self, will reflect in how other people view you. They may not understand what it is that you are, but they will instinctively react each according to their own level of self-acceptance and self-love. Those who still exist entirely in a world of self-deception and avoidance will not be able to look you in the eye, yet they will gain sustenance despite themselves. Those who are further along the path of return will view you as friends and companions on the same or similar journey. They will greet you with great relief and joy as you gather at the water's edge and perhaps accompany you as you move on again to the next oasis. We stand with you, ever at your side, as each one of you prepares to walk the walk across the bridge of light to reconnect with spirit, with your higher self and full multidimensionality. You are in the process of returning into consciousness, awareness and experience of your mastership. It is a journey that takes concentration, dedication and desire. It is not a journey to be undertaken for selfish reasons, but for the benefit of the many. We serve to raise humanity back into the light, but you need to make the last steps of the journey at your own pace, step by step. We can only guide, counsel and teach. The rest is your own, to master and to accept as being truly what exists already within each of you, love and power and connection to the will of God. Go with our blessings and with our love. Namaste. We bow to the divinity that exists within each one of you. Thank you, beloved Sanat Kumara. Channeled by Tezjima, Elizabeth Ayres Escher. BlueDragonJournal.com